Welcome to the Mike White Podcast, where I, Mike White, share my conversations and book reviews through my journey to learn all that goes on in this amazing world. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hey guys, just a quick note before starting the podcast. This will be the only podcast this week, and then next week I'll be starting to post 2 episodes a week. One will be the normal type of interview that I've been doing, and that will change to either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I'm going to post this type of conversation with myself and Clark Blunt every Sunday night or early Monday morning. So if anyone wants to train for the New York City Marathon or just train for a marathon with us, they can listen and hear our training plan and see how it's going. So there'll be much shorter episodes. I'm going to try to limit the future ones to 15 minutes, and we'll just discuss what we trained the week prior to, how that felt, and then our plan moving forward. And I apologize for the internet on this episode. We'll get it figured out. It's very choppy, so I did my best editing, but it's not the best quality, but we'll get it worked out. Thanks, guys.
All right, welcome to the Mike White Podcast. Today's going to be a little different format. So I got Clark Blunt back on to talk a little bit about running. So Clark texted me maybe a couple weeks ago this crazy idea of wanting to qualify for the Boston Marathon again. So I've never run a marathon. I think it's a cool idea, so I'm down to train. I don't know. We'll talk about our specific goals, but I know Clark sounds like he wants to qualify. So here's Clark Blunt. How you doing?
I think you hit the nail on its head, MJ. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. You're back. All right, we're good.
All right.
Oh,
All right, you want to take it from the top or keep rolling?
No, we're rolling.
Keep on rolling. I like it.
It's good to go.
This is how podcasting rolls. I like it.
First off, yeah, I can't see you, so it's a little harder. But so why'd you text me that you wanted to run the New York City Marathon to qualify for the Boston Marathon?
Well, I've always wanted to run the New York Marathon ever since I lived here in Baltimore. I said, well, I was so close, I might as well do it. I think actually what encouraged me to do it was whenever I first moved out to Baltimore, I ran a half marathon, and I ran through Baltimore, and I thought it was incredible. They had shut down all the streets, and I mean, this is an experience that I wouldn't be able to get unless I ran that half marathon. And so I just thought that was so cool. And then I started thinking more about it, and I started thinking about how neat it would be to go and run through New York. And so that always appealed to me. And I think everybody's kind of their running dream, if they run distances, to go ahead and run that Boston Marathon. And so I've qualified once, and I need to do it again so I can actually go out and run it. So I think both of those are two of kind of the best marathons that you can run out there. I think maybe another one might be Chicago, but I think both those really appeal to me. And then I also thought to myself, who else would be able to do this with me? And I thought MJ White right out the gate. And I think I sent you over one of the
Where's
videos.
Carter at?
Carter's still here. He'd be interested in joining us too, I'm sure. In fact, he was the one that kind of drafted up the first training mileage or progression to race day, kind of that roadmap that we would have to follow. So
okay,
he'd be instrumental in us running.
Awesome. Yeah, and just for anyone that hasn't seen, you were on one of the earlier episodes, and we talked a lot about training and running, but it was mainly your like high school, college advice, and we talked about how you did qualify for the Boston, but then it was that COVID year, so they were doing it virtually, which is no fun. It's not the same. So you got it. I think it's an awesome goal to get this official one. And then New York City is freaking awesome. Like just the skyscrapers and getting to run through all the boroughs. And I think you finished at Central Park from what I saw. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I think what I sent you over was the map.
Yeah, they had the virtual map, like a video on, I think it was on Instagram or something, where they went through like all the different boroughs and um, the whole path. Like it's awesome. You see all of New York, which New York's huge. Like I've only been there maybe a couple times, and it can be tiring. Like if you're not taking the subway and you're walking around, just going from like that financial district in the south up to Central Park, and then if you want to go to Brooklyn, like I think the best way for sure is running a marathon to see all the different spots, because otherwise,
Oh, absolutely. And then on top of that, I mean, you'll never have an opportunity to have all those roads shut down for you. So this would be a unique experience that would only be able to be done by a very select few. So it's a unique opportunity, and an opportunity that I think if you had the chance to do, if you didn't do it, it'd be a missed opportunity.
that's true. That's true. I do kind of despise how they close down the whole city for the marathons, but they're going to do it either way.
Yeah.
So might as well take advantage of it, even though it may ruin many people's days that morning.
Fair enough.
So I was looking. Did you see how to qualify? So I looked online to run to do the New York City Marathon. It's a random drawing, so I don't know what the odds are. If you just go into the drawing, you may get selected to be able to do it. The other way is if you're like a veteran, you've ran a ton of races, so neither one of us, that's not going to work. And then if you are a fast runner, you have a qualifying time, then you can get in. And that qualifying time is even
Really?
faster than the Boston. So for our age group, you have to run a 2-hour, 53-minute marathon in order to qualify for the New York City Marathon. So that's out of the picture too, because just timeline, I don't think we'll be able to train that hard. I mean, you'd be doing either like back-to-back marathons, or it'd be pretty tough. And then at that point, it'd be too late because you wouldn't know if you could get in, I think. So I think our only option is there's this fundraising thing for, what's it called? Team for Kids. Team for Kids, if you fundraise $2,620. So that's a chunk of change. So I don't know if that changes your mind at all.
Listen, MJ, if you're in, I believe that I'm also in. I think we would have to start fundraising here soon, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking either I think it would be pretty cool. Like it's especially for training and getting to run the New York City Marathon, and that price I would be willing to pay. But the other option is if we do like the Dallas Marathon in December, and you could definitely I don't think I would be able to qualify for the New York City Marathon. That would be way above my goal, but you could qualify there, and then maybe I qualify, or maybe I just pay for the next year. We do it in 2 years.
I think there's a lot of options. I think it'd be pretty ridiculous for you to go in and pay for the entire chunk of change for the charity. But I mean, it'd be neat of you, that'd be very charitable of you, MJ. I think the lottery is also a good option. I know I've got my old teammate, Maggie. She always enters the lottery, and I don't think she's gotten it yet. And she's been doing it for about 3 years. I think there's a lot of people that enter that lottery, but I think either way,
Oh, wow.
I think it'd be, I don't really know that it necessarily has to be next year, but I know that I definitely want to start getting back in shape so that I can run Boston. And so I think at the end of the day, even if it's not the New York Marathon or the Chicago Marathon, even if it's the Fort Worth Marathon again, I want to be in shape to go ahead and qualify. And, if you want to join me on that trip too, that'd be even better.
Oh yeah, so I think the end result is still up in the air of what we'll run at the end of the year, but we'll definitely run a marathon. So how are we going to train? What's the plan?
Okay. I've broken it down. Carter and I have broken it down by week. Carter's done a lot of the legwork here, but one of the main things that we want to focus on, because we're going to consider this basically a couch to marathon. You ever heard of those?
Well, I mean, no. Is it like not running to running one?
Basically.
Because you still have a cardio base, right?
I had never heard of a couch to marathon either. I don't think it's a reasonable thing to do. But I've heard couch to 5K, so I think this is a good opportunity. But what the number one thing that we want to focus on is not jumping up too aggressively. That's where you see injuries, that's where you see fatigue, and that's where you really see diminishing returns. So one thing that we're going to focus on is making sure that our bodies are adjusting to the mileage as well as adjusting to any sort of workouts that we want to do. So like I'd say for the first 4 weeks, what you're going to want to do is just get your body accustomed to running consistently. So that's like 3 days a week, right? At nothing ridiculous. And then whenever you're looking at kind of running into the next few weeks, really all the way up until week, 8, you don't even really want to have workouts. You just want to start really increasing that mileage. And then on week 8 is whenever you start focusing on, hey, let's just go ahead and start working on some of our strength. And so I think week 8 is where Carter and I have kind of thought that it'd be a good idea to go ahead and add that first workout. I think last podcast we talked about how you like tempos. So that'd be the first workout that we would kind of want. And that tempo is not necessarily fast. It's identifying where we want our marathon pace at, and let's run it at that pace. And then it's slowly after that introducing more workouts up until maybe week 10, maybe week 11, where you're going to start running 2-a-days. And then after that, you continue to add on mileage up until maybe a week before your marathon, where you continue to keep up your mileage, but it becomes all about making sure that your body is ready and not rested, but ready to run the mileage, and it's accustomed to that mileage, so you're ready to run your marathon. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to break it down in chunks. So I think coming out of this podcast, up to you if you want to do this weekly or every other week. I was thinking of having just a short podcast where we talk about what we did the week before training wise, how that worked or didn't work, and then what the plan is moving forward. So for this week, tomorrow's Monday the 5th. So if we're running 3 days a week, are you thinking like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or it doesn't really matter? You space out a day just to recover a little more?
Yeah, I'd probably do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I'd say probably week 2 we start introducing the long run.
Yeah, so how much mileage for week 1?
I would say, so week 1, it's really going to be all about how you feel. And so I'd say all the way up until week 4, all that you're doing is basing it off of time. And so week 1, it's like 30 minutes. You're running 30 minutes for 3 days.
Time.
And then for week 2, maybe you'll run 4 days. And so it'll be 3 days of 30 minutes. And then maybe on Sunday you'll run 60 minutes. And then you progressively add up there. And then week 4, let me check my notes real quick. Actually, how about make it even easier on you?
Yeah, 30 minutes is definitely doable.
And it should be pretty easy. I know Carter and I went out, we ran just real easy around Baltimore, and 30 minutes is so achievable. Just go out there and have fun with it. It's going to be those 60 minutes that are going to really, you're going to have to focus on it. You're going to have to figure out your pace and then make sure that you're not going too fast necessarily on the long runs, but you're feeling comfortable and you start to know exactly what you need to be doing. And then you're going to just basically do that up until, I said week 7. And then week 7, we start shifting over to mileage. And so up until week 7, it's all about getting to just feel what what 30 minutes feels like, what 60 minute feels like. And it's all based off of how you feel.
Okay. Yeah. So week 1, at least 3 days a week, the 30 minutes for each run. And this is just a slow conversational pace. Mm-hmm. And then possibly maybe a 60-minute run on Sunday or Saturday if we're feeling froggy.
Yeah.
And still conversational pace. So if anyone wants to follow along, that's our week 1 training plan.
Yeah. That's exactly what I have.
We'll do this, periodically. So we'll update the training. We don't need to list out all years worth right now, right? So it's going to change depending on how our body reacts, right? How we feel, injuries, stuff like that. but that's a good start. What I wanted to make sure we cover, what exactly are your goals for this? Is it just qualify for the Boston, like so that time, that kind of 3 hour time?
Yeah, and so I looked it up, and so the qualifying time, I think COVID gave people an opportunity to really kind of buckle down, giving them that year to not not focus on racing, but focus on getting better. I think it's elevated the times, and so the time is kind of escalated. So right now the time has improved to 2 hours and I think 50 minutes, and I think that's a 6:50 pace, and so I think that's going to be what I'm going to be targeting.
Holy shit.
So whenever I'm running my tempo runs, that's the pace that I'm going to be running at. So I'll run my tempo at my race pace, which is going to be that 6:50.
And where are you at right now, would you say? Like if you had to run a marathon tomorrow, what pace would you shoot for?
Ooh, I'd be dismal. I'd probably, it'd be tough. I'd really have to gut it out. Maybe 8:30 to 9 minute pace. It'd be a pitiful sight. I have not seriously ran other than with my dog, and like occasionally with my brother, but just a couple of times. So, in quite some time since I lived in Nevada actually. So, it'd be pretty slow.
Yeah, you're trying to knock down about, 2 minutes from your current pace to the goal to qualify for Boston.
Yeah.
And if I had to run one tomorrow, I would probably conservatively say like 11, 12 minutes. Just because, gosh, I did a 12-hour walk a couple weeks ago, and it messed me up. Like it was after like I was kind of working out pretty hard and did a long run, and then the next day I'm gonna walk for 12 hours, no phone, just see the city. And I heard about it on the Adam Carolla show, and so I wanted to try it out. And like 1 hour into it, I feel like I pull the back of my knee, and I'm hobbling the whole way. I finished that. The next day, I'm like dehydrated by the end of the day. I'm sore for like 2 days straight, and that's just walking it was like 28 miles or so, just walking over a marathon. So I feel like I got a way to go, but probably conservatively maybe 11, 12 minute pace.
Yeah, I think I don't know that you can compare that. I think walking and running are two very different worlds. But I think 12-minute pace is pretty reasonable. And I think you're gonna see, if you do this right, if you ease into it, I think you're gonna see a lot of benefits from it. And then I guess, I think running is important so that you get that mileage under you. But I think it's now that we're gonna have to start focusing on, what are we eating, right? What is it that's driving us as far as the fuel that we're putting in ourselves? So I think it's gonna have to be more than just, hey, let's get some mileage in. It's gonna have to be something more than that too.
So that leads me to my two other goals. So the pace goal I didn't say, but I want to get a 7:30 pace, and then for my other goal is I'm gonna do this with no sugar, no grains approach. So doing it fat adapted.
All right, let's do it. Have you tried working out under those conditions yet?
Oh yeah, I love it. I feel so much better. It just gets a little I'll have to plan out what I want to bring with me on race day. So maybe like some olives or some, they sell those ultra salts, little salt supplements. I might bring some of those, and I got to do some research, but I plan to do it fat adapted.
All right. So you got two experiments going on. I think this will be a good test.
Yeah, it should be fun, and we'll do we'll figure it out either 1 or every 2 weeks. Just do a quick chat, see our status.
I like it,
and keep training.
I think this is a good plan. I think as long as we stick to it, I think we're going to see good results. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Yeah, and if any listeners out there want to follow along, just let us know. You can reach me on any of the social media stuff. I got Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Twitter. So would love to have a group out there, but me and Clark are definitely going to do it. So Thanks for listening, and thanks for coming on, Clark. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, MJ.
Thank you for listening to the Mike White Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mike White Pod, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all have a great day.